What's up, travelers? Today we're going to be talking about Isla Mujeres.
La Isla Mujeres.
So today I'm going to be talking about where we got a very cheap ferry ticket from Cancun, where we went for a more private beach, and what else we did in Isla Mujeres. So first things first is if you're staying in Cancun and you want to go to Isla Mujeres, you have to take a ferry. So if you're in Cancun and you're in a hotel zone, you will need to go to Playa Tortuga. From Playa Tortuga, you take the ferry and then it will take you directly to Isla Mujeres. The fee is $19 per person and it should take you about 20 minutes per ride. If you don't have pesos, it's okay because Cancun, they take either dollars or pesos. So it's really convenient. But if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend $19 per person to take a ferry, oh, by the way, that $19 is a round trip. If you don't want to pay for that $19 for the ferry, there's a cheaper port that can take you to Isla Mujeres for about 50% off. And the way we found out about this, it was very accidental. So I'm going to tell you now, the port is called Puerto Juarez. Puerto Juarez, you get like 50% off. So for me and my husband, when we went to Isla Mujeres, we only paid $24 instead of $19 per person, and actually spending almost about $40 for both of us. But for both of us in Puerto Juarez, we only spent $24 for the ferry, and it's round trip. There was actually a story why we ended up in Puerto Juarez, because initially we wanted to take the ferry from Playa Tortuga. So if you want to know the story about how we found out about Puerto Juarez, you gotta finish the video. But the downside here is from Hotel Zone, it's gonna take you about 30 to 40 minutes to ride the bus and to get to the port. But for us, it was really worth it because we saw what the downtown Cancun looked like. You know, we actually saw like more of the other side of Cancun. So without further ado, let's start talking about Isla Mujeres. First, Isla Mujeres is about 13 kilometers away from Cancun. Let me show you what Puerto Juarez looks like. First thing you can do when you get to Isla Mujeres is ride a golf cart. There you go. Oh my god! We're not just playing Mario Kart here, okay?
They need to align their wheels.
There are so many things to do in Isla Mujeres, but we didn't have a lot of time to cruise around the island. We rented a golf cart. We spent a lot of time on the beach, but I heard that an hour should be enough to get to the end or to the south side of the island where you can see the majestic view. There's also tons of things that you can do where you can play with dolphins, snorkel, scuba diving, and all those things. Another thing you can do when you only have few hours on the island is take a dip on the beach. For this one, we went onto a more private beach instead of going to the Playa Norte where all the tourists go for a swim. We went to Mia Resorts. And Mia Resorts, it has beaches on the side, and so it's more private. It's more for the people who are in the hotel, but they were not strict here, so we just spent our time here. If you have a map from the time when you rented your golf cart, you should go to Mia Resorts and try the beach or more private beach there. If not, just keep going left and then follow the road, and then you'll eventually hit Mia Resorts. The beach was so beautiful with its crystal clear water and white sand. The water was so calm. We totally enjoyed our stay here. Last thing you can do in the island is to shop and eat, but I didn't really do that because I found that Puerto Juarez has cheaper items, and so I got all my souvenirs from there. So here's the story about us finding about the Puerto Juarez. So it was very accidental. We rode the bus from our hotel, initially going to Playa Tortugas. So there were not a lot of passengers in the bus because it was kind of a rainy day. So there were not a lot of tourists on the road. There were not a lot of tourists like trying to commute because, it was just kind of like raining. So what happened was we were riding the bus, we were at the very front. And then, me and my husband, we were just talking, and suddenly the bus driver started talking to us. he was like, oh, so where are you guys from? And then, we told him, and then, he spoke good English. And then we told him, we're trying to go to Isla Mujeres. Are there any tips that you want to like tell us, like, what we can do in Isla Mujeres and all that? And then so he said, "Oh, you're going to Isla Mujeres. I know a port like Puerto Juarez. I know a port where you can get a cheaper ticket." And so like when he mentioned like cheaper ticket, like every time you hear something like cheap, like something cheap, like you just hear the word cheap, like you already want to grab that opportunity to be able to save. So we were like, "Oh yeah," but we didn't think that Puerto Juarez was so like far away. So we were like, yeah, why not, like, yeah, just like take us there. And so like most of the passengers, they already off the bus, and like at the end it was just me and my husband. And so this last passenger that he dropped off, like, all the way past downtown Cancun, um another woman tried to get on to the bus, and they started talking in Spanish. And at the end, like the woman, it just ended up disembarking. I don't know why, but he must have said something that, hey, you can't ride now, I have like passengers here trying to get somewhere. And then my husband noticed that he started like making calls and texts. He started showing us some tours on the like on his phone, like videos and pictures. And we were like, no, 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 we're not trying to like do any of those things, because we were only spending like few hours in Isla Mujeres. We just wanted to see what the island looks like. But this is the time when things got very sketchy, because like we were so far away from Hotel Zone. And like once you pass Hotel Zone, it was very sketchy, like you don't even know where you are anymore. My husband, like, he like stopped talking. I already felt that my husband was nervous. And I was like, in my mind, like I was trying to like be positive at the same time, because like when we were going to the port, I could still see signs, Isla Mujeres port, ferry, and all that. So in my mind I was still trying to be positive. But in cases like this, my husband would always think the worst. And so but at the same time I was also nervous. So we were just both quiet like during the trip. Next thing I saw was like the guy waving at the bus, like trying to get in or something. And like the driver stopped the bus and let the man got onto the bus. So at that time, like I was already thinking, oh my god, like what's gonna happen, like like how are we gonna try to get off the bus like more safely if things happen. Because like they were just there at the front, we were also at the front, and there were just chairs, bunch of empty chairs behind us. And so before we even got off the bus on the back side, it's gonna take us like few more walks, a few more runs. But the guy went onto the bus, and he just stood there. Like, I don't really want to judge a person by its look, but like at that time, like in a place where we don't know where exactly we are, and like I couldn't help but judge that person. Like, this person looks very scary, and like I don't know what this person can do. I don't know where this bus is gonna take us. When he got onto the bus, he asked us, or so, where are you guys going? Are you guys going to Isla Mujeres? Blah blah blah. What are you guys trying to do? Do you guys want to do tours and blah 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 blah? So we were like, no, 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 no. We just want to go to Isla Mujeres. And like my husband, he wanted to get off the bus, and so like he kept asking, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? And finally, we were there, and the guy, like accompanied us to buy the tickets. So it turned out that if you're a Mexican citizen, you get like 50% off. So in a sense, we paid him as if we paid him for a tourist price. But when he actually paid for the ticket at the counter, he paid for just a Mexican citizen. So in that way, he earned like more than 50%. So I guess what they're trying to do here is that they're trying to make a business out of you. But the place is legit. There's really a Puerto Juarez. It's a port, and there's really a ferry that can take you to Isla Mujeres. So as long as you know where you're going, don't be like talking to people, because that's one thing we learned throughout our stay also, is that we try to stop talking to Mexican people, even though we're just trying to be friendly, we're trying to get to know them. But like other Mexican people who's also friendly, but you don't know if they're gonna take advantage of you or not. But if you're really trying to go to Puerto Juarez to save for the ferry, um, just be alert. Just act like you know where you're going, and it's at the end of the day, it was not really that bad, because we saw like also tourists who also went to Puerto Juarez and rode the ferry with us. So it was just kind of like sketchy. I guess we didn't expect that it was gonna be like so far away from the hotel zone, and in the end there's gonna be another guy who's gonna hop onto the bus and like like ask us what's our plan and stuff like that. But in the end, it was not that bad. But Puerto Juarez is really safe. It was just that it was very sketchy when we like tried to go there. As a matter of fact, the CNN Travel actually said that if you take the ferry from Playa Tortugas or Playa Caracol, if you're in a hotel zone, the departure times are less frequent than Puerto Juarez, where Puerto Juarez have departure times every half hour. So that was really good. So I would recommend going to Puerto Juarez instead, not because it's only cheaper, but also the departure times. But know that like whenever you try to go to Puerto Juarez, act like you know where you're going, and don't talk to other Mexican people unless it's necessary. So that was our experience in Isla Mujeres, or going to Isla Mujeres. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're safe, obviously. We got home, like we're here now, back home. Nothing happened, like I said. But if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and watch this next video. I'll see you in the next one. See you in the next one, because your next travel awaits.